I have many chocolate chip cookie recipes, I'm gonna be honest with you. A few of them are world renowned, except I finally one-upped them. This is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe I have ever made. Something about the ratios that are in this cookie and the addition of a secret ingredient, which I'll show you, and all the different baking scenarios that I've tested, I've finally figured out what I think is consistently giving me the results I want every single time. So let's make it. We're gonna start by mixing our cookie dough, no fancy equipment required. Then we'll chill the dough for optimal flavor and texture. Chocolate chip cookies, you can't have it without chocolate. 3.5 ounces of dark chocolate, 70%, 60%, somewhere in that range. And then 3 ounces of milk chocolate. I would prefer to do all dark, but I find that people enjoy it and find it more palatable when it's mixed with milk. So you're gonna rough chop your chocolate, maybe 2 more passes. You can see how some of the chocolate from the chopping ends up like powderizing. I leave it in because then when you fold it into the dough, you get kind of this marble effect where the chocolate isn't just the little chunks of chocolate, but it's actually a part of the dough too. Now that the chocolate's out of the way, we can make our dough. 1/2 cup of white sugar and 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. Break the brown sugar up and then whisk that together. Add a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter, not browned. And most people will tell you, oh, you're not browning your butter in your cookies? This is not a good cookie recipe. Shut up. Every cookie recipe uses brown butter now. I don't know when this became a thing. Next, we're gonna add 1 whole egg. Crack that in. Beat it quickly so that it emulsifies. We're gonna add another emulsifier, a whole egg yolk. So crack that carefully into a bowl so you don't pierce the yolk. You're gonna scoop it out with your hand like that. You can run it between your fingers so that the white falls below and then the yolk goes in. Now we're gonna beat this yolk in. Again, make sure that that's fully incorporated, fully emulsified. You know there's an emulsion present because it's creamy, it's one consistent texture, there's no oil or butter resting on top. Typically you'll see dry ingredients added to the flour and then mixed in, but then you can sometimes end up with uneven distribution. So I actually add it to the liquid phase. A full teaspoon of kosher salt. If you use fine sea salt, then do a 1/2 teaspoon. A 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Whisk that in, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I have 1 cup plus 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We have all of our gram conversions on the website, joshweissman.com, links in the description for this specific one. Anyway, 1 cup plus 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 1/2 of that first, and I'm just gonna carefully stir that in using a rubber spatula. Once that's mostly incorporated, I'll add my other 1/2, and I'll just gently stir and fold that together. Really important that you don't overmix this. I got my secret ingredient. I know what you're thinking, why are you putting chips in it? Guess what else is in the name? Chip. I actually didn't do it because of the play on words. I did it because it's good. Salty, sweet, crunchy contrast, and I realized that it made the cookies better, but it's a 1/2 cup of kettle-cooked plain salt potato chips. And you're gonna crush them by hand, as fine or as coarse as you want. I like to go to sort of a medium fine, somewhere in that range. Then you're gonna add all your chocolate, and you're gonna fold that all together. Scoop under the dough, fold the dough over to the center, and press down. And you're just gonna do that until everything's evenly incorporated. We're here to make it. Good night. I'm gonna go get a new spatula. Cookie dough's done. Just cover this, put this in the fridge overnight. When you bake them warm, they spread and they're gonna get super thin. You're gonna go, Josh, your recipe sucks. I'm telling you now, my primary recommendation is to put it in the fridge. Please, for God's sake, if I see another comment of someone saying, I put the cookies in and they spread so much and they're so up, and then I go, well, what'd you do? And they go, well, I didn't put them in the fridge. Well, Jessica, you want to bake these from cold, but to make them easier to scoop, you can let them temper for about 10 to 15 minutes before scooping. But remember, cold dough equals a more even, less aggressive spread and a better bake. The one thing nobody seems to talk about is your cookie scoop size. It matters. It's gonna change the end result of the cookie no matter what. If you have a really big size, then you have more surface area over center. If it's a really small one, you have the crispy exterior. There's a medium cookie scoop, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. Then there's a large cookie scoop, which is more like close to 3 tablespoons. And then there's one that's not even a cookie scoop, an ice cream scoop. And this is a heaping 1/3 cup of a scoop. Let's talk about the regular cookie scoop. Baking sheet. Obviously, parchment's gonna go on here. To help the parchment stick, a little spray of oil so that the parchment paper sticks. We have our chilled cookie dough. I always do a heaping scoop on these little cookie scoop guys just because they're so small. Pop it out, boom, there you go. You can fit more cookies per sheet than any other scoop on our list. Now this smaller cookie scoop will do about 12 to a sheet and make a total of 20 to 24 cookies at that size. Each size you go up, you reduce the total yield by about 25% each step up. This will go into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 8 to 9 minutes. We're now on to the large. You're gonna scoop the cookies just like you did before. Mound it on top and pop that bad boy out. These are much bigger. Now you can only fit rows of 2. To even further protect against mishaps, I do 2, 1, 2, 1. Now our bake time changes. We're gonna put this in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit, 10 to 11 minutes. What you're looking for, especially with these cookies, is a very specific look. You want golden around the edges and slightly underdone in the center. Yes, underdone, it's very important. This is my optimal recommended choice for all cookies. It's big enough to be substantial, but small enough that you can make many of them. So now that these come out, we've flaky salted them. Now we're going to let them sit on the parchment paper for 5 minutes. And then you got a thin spatula, scrape underneath and transfer. Now we're gonna let them cool the rest of the way. Now the final boss, the big dog. I like doing this for everything, parties, events, etc., but oftentimes I do it when it's just a small group of people so I can give them really big, substantial, massive, fun cookies. So we have an ice cream scoop, like I said, a heaping third cup. Boom, dude, look at that monstrosity. Literally the size of a baseball. In fact, I have a recipe for cookies called baseball cookies in my second cookbook. Wow, look at that, link in the description. Very good book, multi-New York Times bestseller. You should check it out, very good. Anyway, as you might imagine, we have to reduce the amount of cookies on here. 2, 3 cookies a tray. Can you fit more? You can try. We're gonna zigzag these. These are so big, I kind of lightly like to smush them down just a little. These are gonna go in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 14 to 15 minutes. These take a fat minute. Same cues, golden edges, and a matte center. These we have to be more cautious when transferring because they're so big. Big dog. Now we have all of our associated cookie sizes. There are benefits to each. For the small, you get volume, which means they're ideal for parties, gatherings. If you need a lot of servings, one batch of cookies will make many more cookies. That's really the only reason. For the large, the benefit is they're just visually excessive. One cookie is enough for 2 people easily. I like serving it this way just because it's like, bang, look at this. That is a cookie. Now the medium, which to be clear, was actually done on a large cookie scoop, the 3 tablespoon size. This is the best of both worlds. You get from this size more surface area, so there's lots of chewiness in the center and only a little bit of crisp on the exterior. That's my preferred cookie. You get a cookie like this, it's still gonna feel somewhat big. 1 cookie is enough for 1 person. So let's taste. The chocolate is still molten even though they're fully cooled. And then splitting this bad boy, I mean, it's still gooey. Cheers. Listen, everybody has an opinion, but it is my opinion that these are the best cookies of all time because this is how I want every single cookie I ever eat to be. It's perfectly balanced, the chew, the fudginess of the chocolate, but also the dough is fudgy too. Lightly crisp on the bottom, but then the rest of it is so perfectly chewy and gooey and like sticks to your teeth almost like a nice like caramel. And then you hit the molten chocolate and you have sweet milk chocolate, but then you have rich dark chocolate. The chips disappear in this. They just become a background crunch every once in a while, a little salty kick every once in a while. You can omit them, the cookie's still good, but I like the little pops of savoriness in this cookie. Cool, you don't need any more cookie recipes, you can stop here. Thank you so much. Subscribe, love you, bye. Don't forget the recipe is in the description. Go get it, print it out, put it on your fridge, make it for the holidays, make it year round, I don't care, just make it.